Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Roll camera and action.
It's time for some trailer talk.
So trailer talk. Like you said yesterday while we were on the train, it seemed like everyone decided to drop a trailer
because of Super Bowl
this week.
So let's start with we're going to start from bad to good.
Okay.
So let's start with SMURFS because I'm not against the SMURFS movie. Like I like SMURFS when I was a kid, but watching this trailer, I'm just like, oh, this is strictly for children. Like the only notable, it's bad when the biggest stars in this are Rihanna and Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
This whole movie centers around Smurfette, and I'm just like, okay.
Cool.
I've never seen the other Smurfs movies, so I can't say because they look like shit.
I've never seen the other Smurf movies either. So is this like a total reboot, or is this
it's a total reboot? And I thought it was going to be animated. I was like, all right, y'all are on the right path. Like it's not for me, but you're on the right path. But then near the end of the movie, there's a live action part, and I'm like, oh well, y'all fall back into the bullshit that people didn't like in the first place.
Right.
Because I'll give Garfield this. At least Garfield was completely animated.
It looks like what you would expect from a Smurfs movie made by a studio that's trying to cash in on an IP. That's what all I can say about it. Like, nothing about it engaged me. Nothing about it made me want to see it. But I am not the audience for this.
Yeah. I love seeing kids. I love a good kids movie. I'll go see kids movies any day. But then there's certain stuff where you watch and you're like, oh no, this is strictly for children, and this is strictly for children.
Yeah. So we'll see what it does. Maybe it's written really, really well. Maybe they cracked the Smurfs code. But yeah, from watching that trailer is like, cool, okay, I guess you're making a Smurfs movie.
Yo, Paramount, man, like I'll say this about Universal. They'll put out terrible movies, but they put out multiple terrible movies where I'm just like, I can't even hate them because at least they're flooding the market to make money. Right. Paramount, y'all don't even make that many movies. So when you guys put out one that looks like this, it's like, what are y'all even doing?
Just like give whoever you need to give the money to just make another Star Trek movie. Just do that.
All right, let's get into Hurry Up Tomorrow.
I didn't see that one, so that's all you.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, directed The Weeknd stars in his own movie where he's playing a fictionalized version of himself. Co-written by him, but also co-written and directed by Trey Edward Schultz, who directed Krishna, which I liked, It Comes at Night, which I did not like, and Waves, which I absolutely fucking loathe. And this movie looks okay. It looks honestly okay. Co-starring Barry Keoghan as his manager and Jenna Ortega as an obsessed fan who looks to ruin his life. Coming out through Lionsgate this summer.
Sure, okay.
Look, I'll be real. I haven't even finished the last album that came out last week because he dropped Hurry Up Tomorrow, the album, last week, and
it's good.
I don't fuck with it. I don't fuck with it. I still haven't finished it. I don't fuck with it so far. I don't fuck with it. It sounds like he's trying too hard. I was like, if this is the album he's going out on, that's a shame.
That's fair enough. I see where you're coming from. But he's doing the same thing I think Beyonce did with Cowboy Carter with a better result.
There's no country on this motherfucker.
No, but you were saying like, but like Cowboy Carter like 3 songs
Much
in,
better album.
it stopped being a country album.
I mean, it was country twang to me throughout the whole fucking shit. So I'm not even gonna say that. But like, much better album than that. And you know what? Good on Beyonce for winning Best Country Album and Album of the Year. First Black woman to win Best Country Album, and only the second Black woman in history to win Album of the Year. And it's wild to me that it took Beyonce this long to win Album of the Year. I was like, y'all didn't give it to her for Lemonade?
Right.
One of the best albums ever made?
Like, I talk shit on Beyonce as an actress, but I will never take anything away from her as a musician. Like, good. The worst thing Beyonce does is still better than the best things a lot of people do.
All right. Let's get into Final Destination Bloodlines. I guess is the opening of the movie. Is this trailer? Is what my guess is.
Like, I didn't catch this one either. This felt like we got an email about it and it fell right off my radar.
Shot entirely in IMAX, so I'm gonna see it in IMAX. Takes place entirely in a tattoo shop, and it's fucking gnarly. Like, this is the grossest I've ever seen this series. I was just like, oh my fucking god, dude gets hung by the spectrum piercing in his nose.
So they're going the Saw route. Like, they run out of ideas.
But he doesn't
so
die by that. You know how he dies?
How does he die?
He falls into a fireball.
Sure. Maybe it works. Maybe it works in the context of the movie.
Look, I'm going to close my eyes during this sequence because it's disgusting, but I can't wait to see this. Like, I'm a Final Destination junkie because 1 and 3 are fucking awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't see it, but if it's horror, I have to watch it. I have to check it out, at least.
All right. Fantastic Four First Steps. Really wish we could just call it the Fantastic Four. This has the same problem me as Superman in that it's lifeless. Like, that's the biggest problem with this trailer for me. It feels like they're selling the tone of the movie instead of selling the characters, because there's no the characters are all flat except for Sue and Reed, honestly. But Reed should be a little more of a dickhead because that's who Reed is.
Yeah, I mean...
Also, don't like that they don't modulate Eben's voice, because at least Michael Chiklis, he took his voice down an octave and they modulated Jamie Bell's voice. Like, now you're just... I was expecting him after Herbie comes up and he's like, yo, let me taste that. I was expecting him to be like, yo, this tastes like shit, cousin.
Look, the trailer was absolutely fine. I love the aesthetic of it.
Yeah, the retro future, but like, I don't understand why we're doing Galactus in one fucking movie, and then their arch nemesis is gonna be the villain for the next 2 Avengers movies. Doesn't make no fucking sense to me.
I mean, I'm here for the ride. I have to see more, right? Like, this
because it's like Superman. You just watch it and you're just like, yeah, sure,
right.
Absolutely. There's absolutely nothing that calls my attention to anything.
Right. Like, the ticket for this and Superman were already sold, right? So, like,
I will say this doesn't look as ugly as Superman, and I say Superman looks ugly is because James Gunn likes shooting with wide-angle lenses. I don't know why you would shoot a whole movie with wide-angle lenses, but he does, and it's a stylistic choice that clearly nobody likes.
Right. I won't agree with Snyder Bros on much, but I hated that scene in the trailer for Superman where he's flying.
Oh yeah, because it looked terrible in Guardians, but I gave it a pass in Guardians because I was only like 30 seconds in a whole ass movie.
Right.
I don't know why you film flying. Like, there's a reason why we have long lenses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, shoot with a long lens, bro. when somebody's flying like that.
I don't need that.
And close-ups too. Close-ups use regular or long lenses, Brady. Like you shooting every close-ups with wide-angle lenses, and it looks terrible.
Right. Well, you automatically get the distortion on anything lower than a 24. But yeah, it's. I'm not gonna judge the movie on the flying scene, but that's a hit for me. But with Fantastic Four, it's fine. Like I was expecting much more.
I would like to see people's powers, man. Like you only see Johnny flying and you see the Thing. Like even Sue, judging off this trailer, I'm like, her powers look better in the other iterations than it does here. And we don't even see Reed stretch at all, which I'm guessing they're still working on.
Or they're saving that as the big reveal in the fucking movie. Like he doesn't stretch until like the last.
That would be terrible.
Minutes.
That'd be absolutely terrible.
Yeah, but like
because they already have their powers. That's the whole purpose of this shit. Is like, they have their powers. In this universe that they inhabit, they're the Avengers of this universe.
Look, terrible is Marvel's MO as of late. So
we'll see.
Like this was fine.
Jurassic World Rebirth, our final and last trailer. Look, a friend of mine has seen it, and he has to keep seeing cuts because that's part of his job, and he says it's good. He said the first cut of this movie, Gareth Edwards' first cut, was 2.5 hours. So I was like, oh, we're already on the right track if somebody's first cut is only 2.5. So that means the final cut should be like 2:10, 2:12, maybe 2. So that's good. And I'm glad. In this trailer, I was like, this trailer, it sold me because this is a great trailer. Like, there's shots in here where I'm like, oh, this nigga is really emulating Spielberg with like the push-ins, the way the action shot, the close-ups. I'm like, okay, this feels like a Spielberg movie. I'm glad that we're not following normal people or scientists. We only have one scientist and everybody else is a fucking mercenary, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm liking what I'm seeing in this trailer.
Really like the new dinosaurs. They look fucking dope.
The mutant dinosaurs or whatever like that. It looks like a Rancor beast. I kind of dig that. I have faith in Gareth Edwards. Right? So this gives me hope. If it were anybody else, I would say this movie is not going to be nearly as good as what this trailer looks like.
Shot on film, too. And I'm glad they got Gareth Edwards because I infinitely prefer Gareth Edwards over the original director, which was David Leitch.
Really? David
Leitch? They got they wanted they said they needed a good shooter who could do the movie quickly because they wanted the movie out ASAP because they love David Koepp's script that much where they're just like, we need this out immediately. And they went to David Leitch because he's quick, and David Leitch was like, yeah, that's too quick for my liking.
Right.
So they got Gareth because Gareth was like, yeah, it's a dream to do one of these movies. Would like to say, Glenn Powell, you fucked up, man. You should have did this movie.
Yeah,
should have did it.
Look, we were almost at critical mass with Glenn Powell, so like I kind of I could do without him.
Listen, I'm not saying Jonathan Bailey's bad,
right?
Because like he's one of the best parts about Wicked, but like I think like he would have brought something a little extra to that. But you know what? Look, I'm gonna see the movie. I'm gonna see what Jonathan Bailey does. But like,
right.
Bro, they better not kill off Mahershala because there's a part in that trailer where Scarlett Johansson screams his name. She's like, Duncan, no! And I'm like, bro, don't kill this nigga off. He's second build. He is second build.
Look, they know better than to kill the black character in 2025.
Do you know how badly Scarlett Johansson wanted to do one of these? Every time it was announced, she would send the announcement to her agent saying, I'm available. Every time one of these was announced. And I'm glad she waited. I'm glad her agents waited because her agents are probably like, Scarlett, not this one. and they probably got the script for this, read it, and like, Scarlett, you can finally do one.
We'll pull a trigger now. We can do this
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll be real. If I was representing an actor as an agent and I got the script for Fallen Kingdom or Dominion, I would straight up just tell my actor, I'd be like, not this one, not this time. We'll find you something else.
And so what you're saying is everybody in Dominion needed better agents. Copy.
Well, in the main review, let's get into our main review because somebody needs a better agent, and I'll tell you who.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurbs feature film review.
Love Hurts, our main review. Yeah, Ariana DeBose, she needs a new agent. Cause damn, bro, she's striking out, and I think she's very close to not having a career.
The fact that this movie bills that it has 2 Oscar winners in it is an insult to the actors and to the Academy of Motion Picture Sciences.
Look, I'm happy that Key finally got a starring role, and him and Marshawn Lynch are the only 2 who make it out of this okay. Like if I was a studio executive and I watched this movie, I'd be like, okay, what can we put these 2 in? Otherwise, I would not, like, you could tell this was somebody's first time making a movie. Like, this is just sloppy. And I don't know if it's because of them or if it's because of the studio.
Yeah, I haven't looked up the filmmaking team behind it because I don't want to. I don't want to see anything else they've ever done. This was boring. It was boring. Like you said, it was messy. I didn't care about anybody except for Key, and I only cared about Key because it's him.
Right.
Because
he, even in a terrible movie like this, he's still likable.
Right.
And like the movie just takes a turn. You know, John Wick, it built up to it. So when the violence erupts, you're just like, okay, feels natural. Nobody, they were hinting to who he was. This, he's just a realtor. And then, you know, all of a sudden he wakes up, he has a knife in his hand. I'm just like, bro, we're going from like this nice, whimsical thing with a realtor. So all of a sudden this nigga's waking up in his office, chained to a chair with a knife in his hand. Like,
right. Yeah, like it goes from 0 to 60, but not in a good way. Like I said, I don't care about any of the characters. You know what the love story I liked in this movie was between the fucking
the assistant and the Raven.
And the Raven. Yet that was the love story.
They focus more on that than they do. Like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. There's a good portion of the second act where Key kind of disappears and it becomes about everybody else besides Key. Like, it starts following the hitman that are hired, like Marshawn Lynch and his partner, and him acting as a marriage counselor to his partner and his wife. It becomes about his assistant and the Raven. It becomes about his brother for a hot second. Like, it becomes about everything else except Key for a hot minute in this movie.
And you can tell that they cut out a good portion of this movie because all of a sudden throughout, like, so there's Key's narration in the beginning, which fine, voiceover, whatever. Then you get no voiceover until halfway through the movie, and then everyone gets a voiceover.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The love story between Ariana DeBose and Key, unearned, and like everything in this movie, underwritten. Like, there are no developed characters in this motherfucker. Everybody's just playing a sketch of a character. And that's putting it nicely.
Which worked for nobody.
Nobody had a little more meat on the bones. Also,
yeah, like watching this, I all throughout the movie, I was like, I wish I was watching Nobody.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like Nobody 2 is dropping in August. And I think the fight choreography is good in this, but it's so over the top. Like, The thing about John Wick and Nobody is that shit gets violent and it gets over the top, but it never feels cartoonish. This
Right.
here, everything in this, it just becomes a cartoon. Like even the violence, I'm like, bro, this is like Looney Tunes level violence where I'm like, these people should be dead. Like even in John Wick,
Right.
these people would be dead.
But like keys getting thrown against
Yeah,
counters and shit like
yeah.
that, like with no weight behind
Like
it,
getting
like
somersaulted, getting tackled through fucking walls.
right. And like he doesn't kill anybody until the end, right?
Yeah.
You keep on talking about how he's such a bad dude and stuff like that. He spends a lot of the movie getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Ariana DeBose's character. She is a toxic ex, right?
She
Because
waits till now. Like they even say it's been years, and now she waits to
Right.
resurface and kill these people. I'm like, why not do that at the most like a year? Like if this took place a year later, I would get it. But they say it's been like 4 or 5 years.
And the thing is, Key is actually happy being the person he is now.
Right, because he's not violent.
Right?
And he's making a positive impact on his community.
And she keeps on harping on how she fell in love with the violent monster murderer, right? Instead of being happy that this dude that you were supposed to love is actually becoming a better person. It just seems like I don't know why they love each other.
Yeah, it's
right?
not, the love story is not even built upon any part of this shit. Like honestly, the flashbacks, it just felt like he was sorry for her and didn't want to kill her because she's a woman, and he's just like, I don't want to do this. And that would have been much more acceptable than he loves her. Because when they do finally kiss, they cut around it. They cut around it, and we don't even see the kiss.
There's that, and then the whole entire the reason she ran, right? The reason like he didn't kill her, blah 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 blah. None of that made real sense, right? Like the whole entire setup, stolen money bullshit. It's so convoluted. You might as well just say excised it. I didn't you didn't care about anything else in this fucking movie making sense. So why spend so much time trying to explain why dude wanted her dead?
There's about 5 main characters in this too, and that's the problem. Is like, there's too much focus being spent on ancillary characters who have nothing to do with anything.
And the end, like the end is like the end fight scene between the brothers is very boring.
Yeah, I mean, look.
And then the Russians show up.
It's
because Russians show up.
This is somebody's first movie, because not only can you tell, but I just Googled it and I was right. It's somebody's first movie because a lot of this shit is missing coverage. And by that, I mean, this has so much bad ADR like Madam Web, where there's people talking and they are either not on screen or their back is literally towards the screen and they turn around and clearly they weren't talking. Like a lot of people's dialogue is given with their back towards the camera.
I didn't even notice that because I was so busy noticing how much I hated this movie.
Yeah, and what they do to Sean Astin's character, I'm like, that's so mean. I was like, that's mean, bro.
Mean and unearned.
Yeah, and unnecessary, man.
Right? Like, in a better movie, I get where that would escalate things, right? In a better movie where we spent more time with Sean Astin.
Or even
getting to know. Or Key to know their dynamic in the relationship, right? Then that would make sense. Then that would okay, now it's fucking
Also,
on.
this nigga has Thanksgiving at Sean Astin's house, and Sean Astin was weirded out that he gave him a hug. I'm like, by that point, yeah, bro, if he's having Thanksgiving dinner for years at his house.
Yeah, there are so many things wrong with this movie and I would have been willing to overlook them if the movie was enjoyable, but the jokes didn't land. I think I maybe laughed once, and it might have been accidentally.
Look, it is what it is. It'll be on Peacock by fucking April, May.
If not sooner, I'll give you honestly, if it's not on Peacock by the middle of next month, I'd be surprised.
Man, Valentine's Day, y'all giving us some real terrible movies this year. Like, yo, the only movie I would tell y'all to see for Valentine's Day, is Companion. Other than that, I mean, we're seeing Captain America Tuesday, so I guess.
What if Captain America ends up being the best Valentine's Day movie?
Yeah, go see that shit. Honestly,
yeah.
But like, as of now, just go see Companion again, or make a date night of it. Do anything to see the shit they're giving you, because this and Hard Eyes is terrible. We're the only people who don't like Hard Eyes. We were the only ones who like Wolfman, and now we're the only ones who don't like Hard Eyes.
People like Hard Eyes,
yo.
I get it. If horror fans, you're easy to
87%
right?
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, wow, all right.
Really? Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, look, we can't. There's nothing really to talk about this movie because it's so bad, and also it's so short. Like, it's only with credits. It's only 83 minutes, y'all. Like, I knew. Right. Let me say this. I knew it was going to be bad when the screening for it was literally the day before it opened, and then the embargo lifted 2 hours before the movie opened. That's why I was like, yo, I'm not even going to the press screening, because that's just a waste of time and money when I could just wait and just see it. Which I did, and I'm glad I did, because if I made the excursion just for that, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, no, 100%. If you're gonna see this movie, watch it for Key.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I actually enjoyed Hard Eyes more than this shit.
Yo, I was gonna say that.
Yo, because at least Hard Eyes, as bad as that was,
it tried.
Yeah, it tried. It was well made. It's much more well made than this shit. This shit is just sloppy, and I mean sloppy. And Spielberg, Key, Spielberg owes you an apology, because you turned this down twice. Spielberg read the script and he's like, Key, this is good. You should do it.
Maybe the script is amazing.
Also, I'm glad.
Maybe
I'm glad Key has 2 other projects lined up. That's all I gotta say. I'm glad he has 2 other movies lined up, because
look, it's everything else. He's enjoyable in anything he's in, right? But even him can't. He can't rescue this shit.
I gotta agree. The John Wick style of storytelling and action movie, if it's not written by Derek Kolstad and not directed by Chad, then don't try it.
Right.
And I say that because nobody was written by Derek Kolstad. He wrote that. He wrote the sequel. And, Chad's doing Chad shit right now. Like, he's getting ready to do Highlander.
Don't mess with the sauce.
I never thought I'd say this. Even Bullet Train's better than this. Yeah. All of David Leitch's movies, which I don't like at all, are better than this shit. Which is funny, because this comes from David Leitch's production company.
100. I'm not going to disagree with you at all. Like, I enjoyed Hard Eyes and Bullet Train more than.
Okay, so the only movie I would say, it's like Atomic Blonde. That is a better made movie, but I like Love Hurts better because it's shorter. Because Atomic Blonde was just long and fucking stupid. And it didn't make no fucking sense. Like this does. It's just like, this is another problem with this movie. It's minute to minute, moment to moment. It's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, but at least Atomic Blonde, it didn't make sense because they were trying to do espionage and they just couldn't do espionage. This doesn't make sense because they didn't know how a script worked.
Yeah, Ariane DeBose, your career is literally on life support now. I hope you get a new agent.
Her next movie is going to be killer. They have to be. They're gonna be.
Because
I
if not, like it's a wrap.
She's got it. She's like I have to have faith, my girl.
Yo,
She had this was a paycheck gig. I get it, paycheck.
The studio had to interfere because if this is the best that somebody came up with, that's fucking shameful.
I'm telling you, man. There's like a half hour on the cutting room floor that maybe doesn't make the movie much better, but at least more coherent.
Would like to give a quick shout out to Tio Tipton. I'm glad to see you working again. And Marshawn, drop beast mode from your name when you're being credited. Like, just go by Marshawn Lynch and don't scream out beast mode in your movies either.
Right. One or the other, right? Like, you can either yell out beast mode or be credited as beast mode, but you can't do both in the same fucking movie.
I mean, even The Rock dropped The Rock. Now he's just Dwayne Johnson. Like, don't do that shit. All right, and that's episode 150.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.